All right, all right. It is that time. It's noon on Sunday out here on the West Coast. It hasn't been that long since our last stream. We did one on Tuesday as kind of a makeup stream, and then we've hit our normal, what seems to be our normal. I'm not committing to every Sunday, but it seems to be our normal time today. We're gonna attack a box called Valentine today, much like the last one. I solved this several months ago, and so I don't really remember exactly how it goes. I remember roughly the overview of it, but we'll see how today goes. Now, next week starts Black Hat into DEF CON, so I'm going to be out a couple weeks again, but I'm going to scramble to try and get some videos pre-recorded. So even though there won't be a live stream, I'll still have some videos to post, and we won't be going another 3 weeks without content again. So we'll see if that actually happens. And Dade, I will be your Valentine anytime. So, all right, let's jump right in. We're gonna grab the IP address from Valentine here. This is the most recent retired box, so even the non-VIP users can either follow along or still attack this box in the next couple weeks. So we'll grab this IP 10.10.10.79, and we'll run our nmap-b- 10.10.10.79, output all formats, full TCP. And then assuming that it has a web host like most of them do, no audio. Master Ninja, I believe I should have audio. So maybe it's on your end. Okay, cool. I'm glad that, like, my heart skipped a beat for a second. All right, so we're gonna check to see if it has a port 80 real quick, just because many Hack the Box boxes do. So we can have multiple tools running at the same time, and we do. Cool. So let's check this out, because right now it's just showing an image. We can get dirsearch running. 10.10.10.79. Oops, 7.9. With word list, user share, word list, Durbuster, directory search, 2.3. I think it's small, right? Yeah, small.txt. I always forget the output format. We're going to want this guy. We want to do -T 50 threads. Again, I wouldn't do that many on non-VIP. And VIP, it's okay. Maybe 10 or 50. Let's see. And then we want to do the output, and we'll just call this valentine.dirsearch. Is that everything? Oh, we need to do the extensions. We don't really have any indications here of what there'll be. Let's do our scripts first. I know we usually run like dirsearch or GoBuster or something during, but I want to do my scripts first. See if we get any information about this box. P2280 and 443. Actually, that's a good point. So if let's go to this site. $79. Oop. Oh, you can see here. So I'm working on a box right now that I switched over to Zap for something. I'm going to show us some Zap in a future video when we need to do some fuzzing and brute forcing. But but that's not happening today. I know we don't usually use Zap, but I think we will. Just for a little bit later. So I'm going to put this back to my burp. And we can actually change that, not change to Zap. Cool Kid 661 asked how I get the time in Tmux. That's not actually Tmux that's doing that. This is my bash prompt here. So if you look at, I think it's in my profile or something like that. Nope. Bash RC maybe. Okay, so this crazy output here is basically saying is what's giving me my prompt, my bash prompt. I have it set up like that so that when I run commands, I know what time the command was run at, and then also I like having my the rest of my prompt on a different line as the actual input prompt. That way, this path can get super long, and I still have an entire width of screen to input commands, and it doesn't wrap and all that stuff. Stitch Zero, definitely start streaming CTFs. Only retired CTFs for sure, but yeah, definitely stream them. We could use more content creators. And R. Bertles is asking if I prefer Zap or Burp. I prefer Burp. I have a Burp Pro license for work, and so it's just what I'm used to. Zap is also a great tool. I was just using Zap because since it's a free tool, I can use its fuzzing without being throttled. And I was working on something for an upcoming video, so that's why that is all happening. Okay, a couple things. Our scripts, our Nmap scripts finished, and so we have looks like an old version of HTTPD. I'm not totally up to date on that, but we actually have like an actual certificate here, which is interesting, running on 443. What's really weird is that we have 443 running and 80 is not just redirecting to it, which is a little weird. But we don't get any, we still don't get any indication on like what types of files are being hosted here. So let's see if HTTPS is any different. This is taking for literally ever. Oh, probably because it's not. Let's do this. So if we, it's probably doing some host lookups. And so we're going to do 10, 10, 10, 7, 9, and then also Valentine. That way our computer knows that 10, 10, 10, 7, 9 is Valentine, or Valentine.htb. Yeah, we know. Confirm. Okay, so it's just that again. So yeah, so it's the same picture over and over again. This is not much of an indication of what file types we should do. So we're just going to go a little ham here. Since it's Linux, we'll do like PHP. We'll do I don't really care about HTML, but maybe TXT. And then slash, and then -F to force. So we'll get that running. Okay, so it's finding stuff. Okay, cool. Catching up on chat. Maybe check, is intercept on? No, intercept's off. I'm pretty quick to turn that off. Ask the chat for tips, or this is more of a walkthrough. It's like a combined thing. It's kind of a walkthrough. Stitch Zero is asking if it's a walkthrough or we're walking together. It's definitely more of it's partly walkthrough, but you know, we kind of, if I get stuck, we'll kind of troubleshoot together. So this is running. Okay, so there's a /dev, there's a /doc, there's an index.php, so that's useful to know. So if we /index.php, okay, /dev. Let's check this out. Okay, so there's a hype key and notes.txt. So let's check out this notes.txt. All right. Coffee research, fix decoder encoder before going live. Make sure encoding decoding is only done client side. Don't use decoder encoder until it's done. Find a better way to take notes. Yep, all of that. Then we have a hype key. Okay, so this is some sort of like a hex. This is some sort of hex thing. Maybe we can decode it. Stitch Zero says, don't want to spoil anything. Yeah, so kind of the way this works, just since you're new to the stream, generally speaking, and this doesn't happen all the time, but generally speaking, I've already solved the box ahead of time. That doesn't mean that I have every step memorized, but I have already solved it, so I know roughly how it's going to go. We try not to post spoilers because there's sort of a story here. I'm trying to walk through the methods and kind of recreate how I worked through the box initially. So, for instance, this one, I know the big thing that'll get us onto the box, and I think you do too by the picture. But we're just still kind of in our recon phase right now. But yes, very much so. This picture is a hint for sure. But here we have some base 64, so we'll go ahead and just start decoding this. I could also do it here, and Burp has a decoder set up, so we can do decode as on the decoder tab. We can paste it in here, decode as base 64, and maybe we can decode this as base 64, and then just keep decoding. Oh my gosh, is it just like forever base 64? Or no, I'm sorry, this isn't base 64. I'm an idiot. This is hex. I'm dumb. ASCII hex. Okay, there we go. That's much easier. That was so dumb. Yeah, it's not always base 64, kids. I know I get an autopilot sometimes, but sometimes it's just hex. So we have some sort of encrypted private key here, which is interesting. So if you remember our last video, we used a private key to SSH in as a user, but this one's encrypted, so we need to find the passphrase to log in. But we're gonna go ahead and save this in our notes. So we'll just do VI. They called it hype key, right? Yeah, hype key. So we'll just do VI hype key decoded priv. Ooh, let's So we can do something. Let's go a little off script here. We'll do. Let's see if I can remember this syntax. And it's going to be $N. No, it's going to be. How does this work? It's beginning /n, and we're going to replace that with nothing, and we'll say globally. This might not work. Nope. Pattern not found. Is it $? No, $sign is the end. Remove. I'll explain what I'm doing in just a second. We'll remove blank lines from Vim. What? I can't explain that. Vim search replace. It's %s. %s. All right, and then it's beginning of line, new line, and then we'll just replace that there, and we'll replace it globally. Come on. Why isn't that working? %s, original thing. Oh, maybe I need to %s, like that maybe? I don't think that needs to happen. No? Because I got this new mic, like the mic's in the way of the keyboard, so I have to like look around. Oh, so Jean-Marc is saying you don't actually need the new line there at all. If you just do beginning and end, it'll go. No. Yeah, I have done this before. Let's do this. I have Adam on here. Okay. It's always dangerous. Okay, cool. It's always dangerous to do Adam on a stream because I don't know. Like, it always pops up all the stupid stuff that I used to like that I was working on before. I don't know like what it's gonna show. So here I can definitely do this. Am I just like failing here? Let's see. My regex, yeah. The problem is if you do new line and then end of line, a new line is always at the end of the line. This is really weird. I like do this, like this specific operation, like literally all the time. Oh, there's white space. Ah ha ha ha. That's what's happening. Oh man. There we go. Oops. I just hit the mic. Sorry about that. Yeah, so there's a bit of white space. So let's do this again. So %S for search. We're gonna say beginning of line. We're gonna say white space and then new line, and we're gonna replace that with nothing globally, and that should work. Hey. We also, I don't know why there are spaces between like everything. This is the lamest. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work, but if we just like, no, because that's gonna get rid of all white space. Ugh, why? Why does Burp like copy like this? This is awful. This is so bad. Yeah, we're gonna, just for the sake of moving quickly, we're just gonna use something else. Ta-da! This is my favorite online tool, ASCII to hex, because it does like all of the different encodings and decodings at the same time. It's super handy, especially for like CTFs and stuff. All right, get out of here, Burp. Try to be nice to you. Hey, that's much better. Anyways, the regex thing is useful for people to know, especially if you realize that there's like white space at the beginning of lines. Okay, so we have this key. Now that we're out of out of that rabbit hole, let's take a look at. We have anything else? So we've got a decode.php. We got an encode. Let's check that out. Is there... I wonder if it'll... Ugh. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Is it like... I wonder if it's like base 64. Yeah, okay, so it's a base 64 decoder encoder, which I guess is pretty useful, except I mean, the target isn't actually base 64 encoded. So let's check out some other stuff. Just decode and encode. All right, cool. Okay, cool. Well, let's so we have kind of everything we need to move forward, and I'll explain why. So right now we have a key. But it's an encrypted, or we have a private key, but it's encrypted, so we need a key to decrypt that. The interesting thing about this, and the person earlier, Stitch Zero, was alluding to it. The main page has a pretty good hint here. This heart, even though it's Valentine, this heart is actually the icon for a branded vulnerability called Heartbleed. So if we check Heartbleed out, if we go to heartbleed.com, as all good branded vulns should have, that's literally its icon. The whole point of Heartbleed, and you know, you'll be able to read this on your own time, but the whole point of Heartbleed is that you're able to, by requesting much larger amount of information during the heartbeat operation of SSL, you could actually get a ton of just random memory back. And if you enumerate that over and over again, or you run it multiple times, you can leak things like you know, certificate keys and things like that. That is literally what situation we're in right now. We have a private key. I'm just going to cancel this. We have everything we need from the dir search. We have a private key or a certificate. I mean, those are more or less the same thing. We have some form of encrypted thing, and we need to decrypt it. So we need the key to decrypt that. That is like Heartbleed's bread and butter. So let's take a look at a couple different ways that we can run Heartbleed. The first way, and I know that everyone hates Metasploit, so we won't actually do it this way, but there is a Heartbleed module in Metasploit, and that's how I originally solved the box, because Metasploit is freaking useful and it makes my job easier. Seriously, guys, I understand that, you know, you want to see non-Metasploit ways to solve things so you can learn more, but I see a lot of people either on CTFs or doing either on CTFs or even on engagements that were like, oh, well, Metasploit's for noobs, I'm not going to use it. And it's like, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't use this tool. It's awesome. It's very useful, and a lot of professionals use it. Anyways, so real quick, we'll search for Heartbleed here. And that'll run for a minute. While that's happening, we'll actually search exploit and look for Heartbleed. If we take a look at, let's see. Oh man, I didn't change the TCP script's name, did I? Nope, I overrode our full TCP. Cool. Full TCP.nmap. Let's see. Is that not giving us the SSL version? Let's do like a, we do nmap, port 443, 10.10.10.7.9. And we'll do script. There's a, let's see, there's a netmap, nmap script SSL enum. Jonas points out that if I initialize the database, then it'll make it faster to search. That's absolutely true. This box, this VM that I run this from, gets reset a lot. So I'll turn it on, and then it'll get switched, and then it'll get reverted to before when I turned it on, and it's just a pain in the ass. I don't actually search that much on this box. This box is literally just for my streaming stuff. But yeah, yes, that is absolutely true. Eventually, I'm gonna do a full Metasploit video where I just dive super deep into how Metasploit works and cool tips and tricks. That will absolutely be on there, but I just haven't. So there's a couple different Metasploit modules here. Some people are saying that Metasploit didn't work for you, and that may be true. It did for me. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why it didn't work for you. Maybe we use different modules or different versions of the modules or something. But there are a couple modules here in SearchSploit that we can use, and they're Python, so that'll be easier than the C ones. So let's just use this guy. So SearchSploit and this. And we'll take a look at this, how it's working. Sysstruct socket time, select. Okay, so nothing crazy I think that we'll have to install here. We can take a look at the CVE. So script SSL enum ciphers. Oop, it's not going to work. Dash dash. Davik points out that you can use -x to examine the script without copying it from SearchSploit. That's also accurate, but I was going to copy it anyways. So, but yeah, there's actually a lot. I'm still kind of learning how SearchSploit works. For a long time, I was just copying from the path. It's actually a pretty deep and useful tool. It's got a lot of functionality in it. All right, so it shows that it's using TLS version 1 as well as SSL v3, and it's using quite a bit of older ciphers as well. It'll actually also do TLS 1v1 or v1.1 and 1.2. So it uses newer stuff correctly, and then it botches it by using a bunch of old ciphers and old protocols, which is unfortunate. We actually run into this a lot in engagements, not necessarily Heartbleed itself, but we run into times where they've got TLS 1.2 running and all of these sweet ciphers, and then they also have really old ciphers and running TLS 1.0 and SSL v3, etc. So let's take a look at the vulnerability just to see, rather than just slinging. Can we get the actual SSL OpenSSL package version? Nope, probably not. Both TLS. All right. Hello, Christian. Welcome to the stream. Cool. So basically what it's saying is if we throw a large heartbeat packet at it, or if we throw a heartbeat packet at it, instead of requesting a small amount of memory, instead of requesting a small packet, we request a huge packet. OpenSSL, the older versions of OpenSSL, didn't know what to do with that request. They're like, oh, well, I better throw all of the, whatever it wants at it. And to get that, it'll just pull from a random section of memory. So if we take a look at 32H, nope. Bad Python version. Oh. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna, 10, 10, 10, 79. Let's see what memory it throws at us. Oop. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of memory. All right. Making that super small just real quick so that scrolling up isn't such a pain in the ass. And in fact, I should probably just like head this or something. Okay, so we can see here that we're seeing a little bit more information, and this is kind of the volatility of this is kind of like a demonstration of how Heartbleed works. It's not always going to show you the same information. It's just pulling from memory, and memory is always moving around and filling up and emptying, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a very precise attack. Generally speaking, you have to run this many times to get what you want out of it. So if we do like a head, maybe like N100. So this is interesting. We got decode.php. This looks like some sort of request that's happening. Yeah, that's a good point. Davik brings up that you can just like grep out a bunch of zeros. But I don't know if we need to right yet. So we're gonna clean this up a little bit and decode it. Oop. I'll use base64 decode. Heartbleed, believe the hype. Okay, cool. So we have a couple things. We have what could be a passphrase. So we'll just like move foo possible passphrase. So we have what we think may be a passphrase. Oops. Cat poo. We should have so cat possible passphrase base64 decode, and we'll put that into passphrase. Cool. So we have what's a possible passphrase. We have a key to use that on. We do not necessarily have username. So maybe if we run this a couple more times. So let's grab this. Do we have a username here? No? No. Okay. Oops. If we run this again and we just grep v for inverse, grep v. So this is just gonna it's just gonna find every line that matches this and not return it. So only the lines that don't return that. Maybe we're not going to get a user out of this. What else did we have for index doc? Decode. Oh, yeah, duh. Let's see. What else? What else do we have here? There's an SSH server. It's an SSH server that's pretty old. There's a couple web servers. I guess it's possible to... I mean, we can do some guessing. Let's do SH 10, 10, 10, 7, 9. What do we call it? Hype key priv. And let's do L minus L lets you do the user. We can do like Valentine. First of all, it's going to complain about that. No. It's like dev, right? Oh man, that's so slow. I wonder if it's like searching for its name. So if we do like, yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. Oh my god. Maybe it wasn't the name. It's so slow. Why is it so slow? I mean, maybe it's just called hype key, then maybe it's just hype. We can test that if this thing would ever freaking like load. Now it's just a guessing game. Yeah. Yeah, these are my least favorite ones. But let's make sure that I... Oop. Wait. Yeah, okay, so it's hype. Okay, cool. So we're on here. Guessing games, yay. There's a tmux.conf here. psaux.conf or .txt. Man, it looks like somebody was on this box before me. There's like a lot of stuff here. Maybe I should get better at resetting boxes. So there isn't a user.txt. Even though this is the only user on the box. Okay, there's definitely been some... Oh, it's on the desktop. Huh. Okay, so here's the user.txt. It's the right size. So, okay, that makes sense. They're not usually in /desktop on Linux machines, but oh well. Now we just need to figure out how to get root. So let's... Okay, we don't have the password, I don't think. Nope. Okay, so it's not a sudo thing. So let's do some searching. So we can do like let's do a ps Oh, it looks like there's some sort of is this a... Maybe that's why the tmux files are there. So tmux, like screen and some other things, you can detach and reattach to sessions. So maybe that's what's going on here. Oop. So not tmux ls, not -l, tmux ls, and then if we tmux attach to session, T0, known option A. What is happening here? tmux A. Whoops. Whoops. I just messed it all up. Maybe I totally did mess that up. Yeah, Tmux is like out. Is there like a Tmux? Because that wasn't a root session. Oh no. Is the box down for reset? What's happening here? Ah. Yeah, I lost it here. Valentine, last reset was a day ago, so I guess not. Whatever happened, the box is pissed at me. It's not up. So yeah, we're definitely going to reset this thing. Make sure that my reset went through. Yep, okay, cool. Well, now it's up. So should I just cancel? We're going to Valentine. We're going to cat the passphrase. Nope, not screen. So it's still down. Yeah, we're gonna reboot it or bounce it anyways. While we're on it though, we can still do some recon while we're waiting. It's going to be a couple minutes. We want to do some searching. Maybe if it takes 2 minutes to get onto the box. So this is just a find command to look for anything that is readable by us, but owned by the user root. And that's a lot of shit. I don't need proc. We don't need user share or lib. You know what? We probably don't need a user at all. That is still a lot of stuff to look through, but less so. This is why when if you drop a piece of malware on a box, don't drop it in /temp. Drop it in like any of these places that I'm just scrolling past, because sysadmins are used to seeing this kind of crap, and if it doesn't look out of place immediately, then we're probably just going to skip right past it. Because honestly, I couldn't tell you exactly what each one of these are. I could probably make some pretty good educated guesses about most of them. Frankly, I probably could have just gotten rid of C. Why is my tmux config owned by root? That's weird. Is that so I don't mess with it? Okay. So, Valentine's offline again? Is it already back online? Wait. Yeah. Must already be back online? That's pretty fast. It must have happened while I was scrolling through stuff. Put this back. All right. So now if we tmux ls again, still nothing. Okay, so that was left over by another user. Let's check out the .tmux config. Okay, so they're running resurrect. That's what's happening. So resurrect is a tmux plugin that can be used to save off tmux sessions and then reattach to them or recreate them later. So let's check out. Let's check out how we can. So it looks like prefix Control R to restore. However, I'm already in a tmux. I'm already in a tmux session. Yeah. Oh, it's read only. Of course it is. Damn it. So that last session that we attached to a while ago, probably was sitting in the same environment as where that saved session was. We didn't grab that location because someone else's sessions and I didn't want to reuse it, so we'll have to find it ourselves. I'll hype let's connect to that outside of a tmux. I'm sure I could get both working, but I don't feel like messing with my tmux config just to get this one box working. And I can't mess with its tmux config to change the prefix setup. Yeah, it was something devs. I did see that. I'm just trying to find how to find that without having seen it ahead of time. So we're in Tmux, so can we do... Nope. Control B, Control R doesn't do anything. Okay, let's start doing some regular recon here. Yeah, and that's maybe how I ran into it before, is when you start at the top and like check out what's up top. Oh, there's a .devs too. Oh, that we're in the group of. So if I would have done, let's see, if we do like find iname, or no, find readable user root, and we would have done like grep v etsy grep v user grep v sys and grep v lib. Like, would that have been a more doable? So Espen is one that I probably should have gotten rid of. Temp is useless. Proc is one that I got rid of last time, but not this time. And proc. Proc, grep v, what did I say, Espen? Is it Control B or Control B Control B? Because that's interesting. But it does sound like a pain. Oh god. Okay, so bin is still there, which I probably should have gotten rid of. All of my errors. Run sucks. Okay. Yeah, and there's devs. So devs is going to be like really, it's kind of really hard to see. And .devs. That's, yeah, that would have blended in. Exactly what I was saying earlier. Like when you're hiding stuff, hide it in plain sight, because that's going to be, it's, man, I would have blown right by that several times probably. And I very likely did. So if we go to cd.devs, and we see this, so let's do, it's like, what is the, okay, so if I do tmux in here and I do Control B, Control R. Okay, so that's neat. Okay, cool. So Control B does work. That's awesome. But I don't feel like I'm actually like interacting with resurrect. All the details restored after system restart, blah, blah, blah. Prefix Control R to restore. Is there like a... Can I just like do that maybe? Nope. Ugh. Why is this such a pain? Should be in bash history. Wow. This is the second box in a row that I've streamed that bash history was available at. Capital S. Interesting. Well, I assume that's save. Does that work? No. Nope. Oh, there we go. It's minus S. Weird. Huh. Okay, and there we are. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so resurrect and bash history. It's funny because bash history is often disabled in most Hack the Box boxes, and this is the second time it hasn't been like in a row. So we're, you know, just pays to go back through things, even though you're used to even though you're used to a certain thing, you need to not get stuck with your used tos, or else stuff like this happens. So there's the root flag. It's the right length and everything. This is the curl that we were getting the passphrase from. So when we were running Heartbleed, we were actually like bleeding this request out of the server's memory. And so this was the script that was supplying that information. So there you go. That's the box. It's an interesting it was an interesting box. It was super fun. You know, I had pulled off Heartbleed in a lab in the past, and this is a lab as well, but you know, it's a little more in the wild than just running like against my own server or something like that. So it was fun. I had a good time doing it. Hopefully you had a good time doing it, and like I said, I'm going to be at Black Hat next Sunday, so I will be attempting to do some pre-recorded videos that I'll be able to post while I'm out. That being said, if you're at Black Hat and or DEF CON, shoot me a note on Twitter. Maybe we can meet up, you know, have a drink, alcoholic or otherwise, and generally have a good time at summer camp. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time.